We are now going to be working on multiplying a fraction by a whole number using the standard method. When using the standard method, you want to first turn both of your numbers into a fraction. The easiest way to do this is by adding a 1 underneath your whole number. This still keeps your whole number a whole number because it only can convert and go into itself 3 times, therefore making 3 the whole number. When we look at a problem this way, we can think of multiplying straight across. We say 3 times 3 gives us 9, and our denominator we can still multiply across because 4 times 1 would give us 4, which is not causing us to change our denominator. This is a very quick and easy way to solve these problems. However, it can be confusing to some, and they prefer to use repeated addition or the visual models until they have a better understanding of the fact that multiplying by 3 is asking for groups of that number. We are going to go over a couple of examples, and I will have you try a few using the standard method on your own. This example reads as 2/4 times 5 wholes. Again, we want to change this to having 2 fractions that are multiplying across one another where our denominator will not need to change. So in order to do that, we will make our 5 into 5 first, or 5 once. And we would say 2 times 5 gives us 10. And then 4 times 1 gives us 4. Just like before when we were looking at a repeated addition, you can see that this has given us an improper fraction for our answer. We can once again use our division model to find what our answer would be if we wanted to change it into a whole number or a mixed number. We're going to start by taking our numerator and placing it in our dividend. Our denominator will go on the outside as our divisor. We then ask ourselves, how many times can 4 go into 10 without going over? Again, if you're not sure about your times tables, you may make a tower. Start by drawing your 4 dots, if you need that extra support, and then say 4 times 1 gives you 4. 4 times 2 gives you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 times 3, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is too much because, again, we can't go over our number. So we're going to say we can only go into 10 2 times. So we would have a 2 on top as our quotient. 2 times 4 gives us 8. We would subtract this. 10 minus 8 leaves us with 2. So our new numerator would be a 2. Our denominator doesn't need to change, so it would stay a 4. And our answer as a mixed number would be 2 and 2/4. So I'm going to now write 3 different problems on the board, and I would like for you to try to solve them using standard method. And then after a few moments, we will go over them and see if you understood the process. All right, so I now have 3 examples written on the board for you to try and work on your own. Number 1 is 5 seconds times 2. Number 2 is 2/4 times 1. And number 3 is a little trickier because our whole number is a double-digit whole number. 3/6 times 10. Please take a few minutes to try and work this on your own, and then we will go over them together using the standard method. Please remember to practice using the standard method. Okay, please remember if you need a few more moments to work, to pause the video and continue to solve it on your own. However, we are going to start going over how to solve these three equations. First thing we want to do is we want to go through and make each one of our whole numbers into a fraction using our neat little trick of simply adding a 1 underneath each equation. We would then look at our problem and multiply straight across. So we look at our two top numbers, our two numerators, and we multiply those across the top. So we have 5 times 2, which is 10. And then we multiply straight across the bottom. 2 times 1 gives us 2. Then we can move on to our next one. Remember, this is an improper fraction, so you could convert it into a mixed number or a whole number. If you want to, give it a try on your own and see what you get. Number 2, we have 2/4 times 1 over 1. So we would simply multiply across. 2 times 1 gives us 2. 4 times 1 gives us 4. Our answer would remain the same. It would be 2/4. Much like when you multiply any number times 1, 1 is always a copycat, so it's still copying our fraction. Number 3, we do have a 2-digit multiple, but it is not changing how we would solve this problem. We would still work it the same way. We turned it into a fraction by adding our 1 at the bottom. Then you would simply multiply across. You would have 3 times 10, which gives us 30. And then 6 times 1, which would give us 6. Again, an improper fraction, so we could convert it. Why don't you give it a try and see how you do? Again, this has been multiplying fractions by a whole number using the standard method. There's lots of different ways to practice this, and you find which way is most comfortable for you and helps you to get the right answer each time.